5 ways to keep your quarantine workout routine going as you head back to work. Here are some tips to stay fit from your own living room. Home remedies for eczema and psoriasis. Relief: the dangerous truth about vitamins. How to reduce the spread of COVID-19. The worst foods for your tummy. 4 textbook signs your stomach pain is actually IBS. Fruits and vegetables that are best to buy in summer. 3 interesting facts about the human brain. Best remedies for a toothache. Foods that make your bones stronger. 4 ways your ovaries help keep your whole body healthy. 5 daily skincare habits that make your acne worse. Prevent headaches by following these rules. Apple cider vinegar as a beauty helper. 3 ways to turn ordinary used tea bags into miracle cures. There's a slim chance you've made it all the way to 2021 without hearing someone extol the benefits of cannabidiol, CBD. Psoriasis relief may make the list of potential health benefits. The short, and somewhat unsatisfying answer is maybe. But more research is needed before any recommendations can be made, says Adam Friedman, MD, professor and chair of dermatology at George Washington School of Medicine and Health Sciences in Washington, D.C. And it's more than just a skin condition and a nuisance. About 30% of people with psoriasis also develop joint pain, inflammation, and limited mobility that are associated with psoriatic arthritis, according to the National Psoriasis Foundation. Your likelihood of developing psoriatic arthritis is even higher if you have scalp psoriasis. Psoriasis can also damage self-esteem and take a heavy toll on your quality of life if left untreated. CBD comes from both marijuana and its cousin, hemp, are cannabis plants, and both contain CBD. But there's a big difference between the two. CBD comes in a variety of forms, and products containing it seem to grow by the day. Generally speaking, you'll find CBD as the following products. THC and CBD interact with endocannabinoid receptors throughout your body in specific tissues or the nervous system. There aren't many high-quality studies looking at CBD in people with psoriasis or other skin conditions. The studies we do have were conducted in lab cells or animals. Those may be encouraging, but they're just a start. As such, experts can't say with any degree of certainty that it can help. There is reason for optimism, says Dr. Friedman. There's a lot of hype that is sadly built around limited evidence, but from a purely biological standpoint, it does make sense that CBD oil can improve psoriasis symptoms, he says. Studies in skin cells have shown that endocannabinoids like CBD can inhibit the inflammation that initiates and precipitates a psoriasis flare, he says. Preclinical studies in cells or animals suggest that CBD can affect key immune pathways, such as T helper 17, which seems to be central to the inflammation of psoriasis, says Dr. Friedman. What's more, there were no irritant or allergic reactions seen during the treatment period. The study appears in a 2019 issue of The Big Question as whether the CBD made any difference at all. It's possible the improvement came from the use of the ointment. Simply moisturizing your skin can soften the really thick layer of skin in psoriasis, and that alone can have some benefit, Dr. Friedman says. CBD is often combined with other ingredients that target pain, irritation, or itching, like camphor. And it may have salicylic acid, which breaks down thick, scaly skin and could enhance the effects of a moisturizing agent. There is a decent amount of preclinical evidence that if we get CBD where it needs to be, it will work, Dr. Friedman says. But that's easier said than done. One way to accomplish it is to shrink the CBD particles down to the nanolevel so they can more easily pass through the skin. A nanometer is 1/1000th of a meter. There are many other factors that would need to be studied, too. After all, researchers don't yet know whether a cream applied to the skin might help psoriasis more than a swallowed capsule, or if the CBD in gummies will have any effect at all. Scientists need to study disease severity, strain-specific compounds, concentration and dosing, method of delivery, and treatment duration, says Dr. Hawks. We need studies looking at dosage and CBD concentration as well as drug interaction and allergy or irritation concerns in ingredients, says Mark Moyad, MD, MPH, the Jenkins, Pocompner Director of Preventive and Alternative Medicine at the University of Michigan Medical Center in Ann Arbor. Topical steroids are a common treatment for psoriasis. Steroids tell your immune cells to self-destruct. But cannabinoids like CBD aren't so focused on blocking or killing these cells, Dr. Friedman says. Instead, CBD aims to resolve inflammation. In theory, CBD binds to receptors on immune cells and instructs these cells to stop secreting pro-inflammatory cytokines and start rebuilding, he explains. While there are a number of highly effective and safe topical and systemic treatments for psoriasis, many people still live with chronic itching, pain, and the stigma and psychosocial consequences of having a highly visible skin condition, says Dr. Hawks. It is, therefore, not surprising that patients affected with psoriatic disease have sought relief from their disease via a variety of adjunctive treatment options, including cannabis-based products like CBD, he says. That said, he stresses that CBD should never be used in place of other psoriasis treatments recommended by your doctor. If you do use it, it's simply an add-on to the rest of your therapy. The CBD industry may be here to stay, but it wasn't always so booming. In the past few years, demand grew, and supply ballooned. Credit goes to the 2018 Farm Bill, which removed hemp and its derivatives with low THC from the Controlled Substances Act, CSA, which is where THC currently remains. That means farmers can legally cultivate hemp and companies can legally produce hemp products, including those with CBD, as long as they contain no more than 0.3% THC. There's no shortage of places to buy CBD products, both online and in person. But Dr. Friedman cautions that there's minimal oversight. And that means it's buyer beware. There is no way to tell for sure what you are getting, he says. If you're set on trying CBD, shop around before purchasing. There are steps you can take to make sure you get the safest and most accurate CBD product possible. Your best bet is to go directly to a company website and ask for the Certificate of Analysis, COA. This document provides results of any and all testing of the supplements. In states where marijuana is legal for medicinal or recreational purposes, the state health department may keep a list of reputable vendors. State licensed dispensaries may have higher quality products than random over-the-counter brands because there is some oversight coming from the state's Department of Health, Dr. Friedman says. Look for transparent ingredient lists and a good brand reputation, and have open conversations with healthcare providers. To best navigate this rapidly evolving cannabis landscape, Dr. Hawks advises. Some patient advocate associations for psoriasis may have helpful resources for you. For psoriasis patients specifically, I also recommend that they seek out additional resources from established medical organizations and patient advocacy groups that may help them make informed decisions, such as the National Psoriasis Foundation, which is currently working to put out psoriasis guidelines related to cannabis use in the setting of psoriatic disease, he adds. The potential risks of CBD and other cannabis-derived products in people with psoriasis and other inflammatory skin diseases hasn't been carefully studied, Dr. Hawks stresses. The small number of clinical studies that have been conducted for non-psoriasis conditions are informative and suggest that potential risks should be considered, especially in patients with psoriatic disease, he says. For example, people with psoriasis are at increased risk for joint inflammation, heart disease, stroke, obesity, diabetes, liver disease, inflammatory bowel disease, sleep disorders, depression, and anxiety. In several studies, systemic CBD and other cannabis-derived products were associated with worsening cardiovascular disease, obesity, and diabetes, fatty liver disease, or higher likelihood of surgery for the treatment of inflammatory bowel disease, Dr. Hawks says. People with psoriasis need to be aware of the potential worsening of those underlying conditions with systemic cannabis products. Potential adverse events are also more likely with systemic or high-dose administration compared to other delivery methods, such as limited or topical applications of CBD oil, he says. Considering the lack of evidence, is CBD worth a try if you have psoriasis? For psoriasis patients with specific complaints, such as pain, itching, or trouble sleeping, cannabis-derived products could help reduce the negative impact these symptoms have on their life, Dr. Hawks says. But if you're going to use CBD, choose a reputable brand and let your doctor know about anything that you are using to help with your psoriasis symptoms. And remember, Never replace your tried and true psoriasis treatments with CBD. Not ready to jump on the CBD bandwagon just yet? It's okay to wait it out. The medical community is taking notice of CBD, conducting more studies that aim to get to the bottom of its uses. As a medical community, we are going to have to think creatively about ways to evaluate and determine the safety and effectiveness of CBD products for specific medical conditions, Dr. Hawk says. And the clock is ticking. We all have to advance our understanding of CBD and other cannabinoid derivatives because the cannabis product industry is here to stay, he adds. We've rounded up the 10 best experience gifts. Note: not all of these are available during COVID-19. Before purchasing, check to make sure they will be post-pandemic. Each one promotes a more balanced, less stressed life. And who doesn't need that right about now? Oh, and by all means, gift these to yourself, too. Price varies for those who love a good nature walk or hike. Consider gifting a year-long pass to the national parks. This experience gift gives them access to more than 2,000 sites. $80 price varies, $99 price varies, $83, $85 to $95 per day price varies.